Hi, it's Rich with Richbound Photography, Sacramento, California. I'm coming at you today with a little tutorial. It's more of a product and a company heads up for you to know about because I wanted to share it. And I really looked for a long time for these items and I had a hard time, but I finally found a company. It's named Hejnar or Hejnar Products, Photos, Hejnar Photo. And this is a gentleman, Chris Hejnar, and he's back east in the United States, and he manufactures these really small runs of adapters and plates and clamps and Manfrotto adapter plates for the 405 and 410. And if you're looking for this kind of thing, you can do a lot of workarounds, but you're not going to find this kind of stuff. And a big company like Arca Swiss or Really Right Stuff, they're not going to be able to cater to what you need. So Chris does everything by himself in the United States, so it's personalized service. His workmanship is fantastic. It's machined, it is beautiful, it is just wonderful, and it is equally up there with Arca Swiss and Really Right Stuff. He makes really nice clamps here, and I personally use a Really Right Stuff lever clamp, but if I didn't, I would definitely be using this traditional knob version of this clamp with an L bracket. But let me tell you today about what I really want to talk about. The two things here. One is my adapter for my Metabones adapter that I use with my Sony a6000 and my Nikon 19mm, so I can adapt it. I put my Sony here and I put my tilt shift here. Actually, the tilt shift goes here and the Sony goes here. And basically, it's offset and it has 2-inch riser because if you put an L bracket on your camera and put an L bracket on this adapter, you can't work with them side by side. So you have to have an offset. And I've been doing a workaround for a couple of years, and I finally got this piece, and it's beautiful. It is just, you can see it is offset a little bit so it equals the weight out. And I'm actually having Chris manufacture me a specific one that is going to be straight for a different reason. But the ability to talk to a manufacturer is fantastic, and the turnaround time is great, and his customer service is fantastic. So I've got this for my adapter for my Sony camera, and it works great, and I just put it on his clamp if I want, or I use my lever clamp. It depends on what tripod I'm using, but we've got that there. Let me put this here so it doesn't fall over. Okay, stay. And then he has another product where if any of you are using the 405 or the 410 Manfrotto, you know it comes with this quick release plate, which is fine, but it goes right here. And actually I took off the little spring to mount this plate, but this is an adapter that Chris came up with, and he basically is a problem solver. He finds out about little things that come up that really they could use a better solution, but a company like Manfrotto is not going to do it. So Chris made this adapter plate, and they're basically the same size. Hold on, let me put this up here so you can see it. Same size and the same shape, so it is really fits really well. So it's made specifically for this head, and he has all kinds of Manfrotto heads. He does it for everything, which is really amazing. Also, he does it for Gitsu, just all kinds of great stuff. So this goes in here. It is simply screwed down with, let me see if I can show it to you. You can see in there, right in there, there are a couple of screw holes, and what he does is Chris supplies you with a little neat little plastic bag with appropriate 2 Allen wrenches and appropriate different size screws. So he has everything you'll need to fit pretty much whatever you have. So you won't have to go to Ace Hardware or Home Depot, because that's where I go, Ace Hardware. Free popcorn. So what you can do here is, let me show you on the Manfrotto plate first. If I was to use the Manfrotto plate, I have to use this screw hole right here to screw it in because it's a specific size. So if I want to use this and I have to have it in a specific orientation, this is where my plate sits, and you can see this is quite a bit off-centered. And this may not be a big deal to some people, but for me, I really need my clamp to be very centered with my plate, especially for panorama photography. Everything needs to be over the axis of the tripod and the tripod head. So in this case, I wouldn't have that. It would be all the way up here, and my camera's going to be out off axis. So it's very minor to some people, but for me, it's really an important part. So this is the adapter Chris made. And this has multiple mounting points, as you can see here, and a nice little bubble level. And you can mount this anywhere you want, so you can have it totally centered on this. It's not a quick release anymore because you've got to mount it here, but I don't need to change it. I've always got the same head on this tripod. Don't need to change it at all. You'll find that pretty much if you own a 405 or a 410, you're not going to be changing out your clamp. So again, I could be using the Hejnar clamp right here, which Chris did a great job of this. You can see his name on there. Everything is just machined perfectly. And another nice thing is I can unscrew this L bracket and just have it as a base plate. Or if I want this here, I can then turn it to to portrait orientation or landscape by just rotating this. I don't need to flop the head over. That's why we use an L bracket. You'll find that if you are using this head to flip it over, you've got to go all the way over here. So all of a sudden, here's the center axis of your camera right here. Let me see, right here. There we go. If I put the camera on, all of a sudden now my camera's all the way over here. You don't want that. So basically you want to be able to, this is a really important tip, you want to be able to rotate your camera with an L bracket so it goes like right here, and then, gosh, this is getting a little complicated. Okay, it goes right here, and then if I wanted to shoot portrait, it's going to be right here. So it's going to be relatively straight over the axis. But you got to understand, one thing different about this one is this two-inch offset is going to offset the lens. But if you're doing a normal, just a normal plate and a normal lens and a normal adapter, or whatever you're using without this 2-inch offset, it's going to rotate perfectly over the center of your tripod. So that's what you want. And it's a big deal. Once you get into it, you'll go, if you've never used it and you've been flopping over your camera all this time, you're going to say, what was I thinking of? This is so much better. It really is, especially if you're like in the doorway of a bathroom, of a small little bathroom. You can't have room to flop your camera over if you're doing a vertical shot. Not that we do a lot of vertical shots in real estate photography. We tend to shoot in horizontal orientation or landscape because it shows up better on MLS photos. But for design photography, I'm going to need all the help I can, and I can't deal with a camera flopping way over there. So really important. Okay, so I'm going to go on the website, the Hejnar website, and to look up what they make. So just so you know, this plate right here is $65, and personally I think that's not a bad price because this is like a custom-made plate. You're not going to find it anywhere else. And it may seem like an extravagance to somebody, but for me, it was like, oh, absolutely, get this. So much happier, so much better. Really hard to tell. Like I tell you to get a geared head. You don't know how great a geared head is until you use one. Anyway, that's just another story for another time. I don't want to really go into geared heads. But right here we have this plate is $65. He also makes this 2-inch riser, and that is, I think, $95. And you know what? It seems like a lot of money, but it really isn't, because this is it's like a custom piece of beautifully machined material. And again, Chris, he will not only return your emails personally, because I think he's a one-man show. He will absolutely, you've got your phone number, you can call him and talk to him, and he's just the greatest guy. He gets back to you right away, which is pretty nice to have that opportunity. And he is even making something custom for me. And I'm not guaranteeing he'll make something custom for you, but you can certainly give him a call and talk with him. They also make adapters for Gitsu. They make all kinds of adapters for all kinds of Manfrotto lenses. Let me go here. They make camera plates. They make rails if you're doing like macro photography or product photography. They have lens plates, camera supports foot replacements, macro panorama adapters, and they make a whole section for Manfrotto adapters for all kinds of Manfrotto heads, not only the 405 and the 410 geared heads, but all the other heads, also the Gitsu heads. So he has pretty much found a niche where these things need to be made, and Gitsu and Manfrotto are not going to be able to make these things specifically for your needs. And the other thing too about the Metabones adapters plural, all the different adapters, they all have different fittings, and this one happens to have an aperture ring which sticks out a little bit, and so this specific extension had to be completely designed for this adapter, and nobody else is going to do that. So Chris, big thumbs up, and we're going to be doing 10% off of anything you want from Hejnar Photo, and I'm going to have the link, the code in the show notes. I'm also going to have the link to his website, and I'll have the link to this specific adapter right here. So if you're a 410 or 405 owner, I really think you want to check it out and treat yourself to a little plate like this. It's just going to make you happier every moment of every day. Maybe not that much, but the other thing I want to say is Richbound Photography welcomes and urges you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember that most of all of this stuff is done free, and all my tutorials, please use the Adorama link, the code Adorama link, not the code, the Adorama link in the show notes at the top. And those, if you purchase something, use that link and then purchase something, and it helps me provide me to make it worthwhile for me to make these free videos for you. And the other thing too is going to be, I do private one-on-one coaching. If you're interested, send an email to rich@richbaum.com. Leave your thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm fine with either. But got some great comments. I really, really appreciate and value my fan base and my customer base. I really feel I'm making a difference in people's photographies. The other thing too is we're doing intensive three-day workshops for luxury real estate photography, and if you're interested in that, you can see up in the videos, it has a link to the videos. I keep updating it. September and October is sold out, but we're going to probably be doing one, it's not confirmed yet, be doing one in Las Vegas in February 2018. So come join us. These are limited to, I think it's going to be about 16 or 18 people. So there's two of us, Mark Weisberg, which is he is a luxury real estate photographer and Sony artisan, one of the greatest, I mean, he's an awesome photographer, specifically doing high-end luxury listings. I'm doing the day-to-day stuff, trying to get you those fast and easy fixes, tutorials, how to really make your photography get better, quicker. And as I always say before I leave you, Richbound Photography, reminding you to shoot smarter, shoot better, aspire to shoot bigger and better projects so you can make more money and you can do better work and make more money, and then you can spend more time with your family or just go out and have a good time. So Rich Baum with Richbound Photography saying, here you go. These adapters are absolutely something I value and think I want to share with all my friends. Talk to you later.